A Labrador's coat length is determined by a single gene, known as the FGF5 gene. While the breed standard calls for a short, dense coat, a recessive long-hair gene persists within the breed's gene pool. This means that two short-haired Labradors, if they both carry this recessive gene, can produce long-haired puppies in their litter. This surprises many owners, as the long-haired variant, often called a fluffy or woolly Labrador, is not what they expect from purebred parents. Despite their non-standard appearance, these long-coated Labradors are indeed purebred. The length of their fur does not alter their fundamental genetic makeup as a Labrador retriever. The long hair trait is simply a cosmetic variation, much like the different coat colors of yellow, black, and chocolate that are all accepted within the breed. The standard Labrador coat is a marvel of functional design. It's a double coat, consisting of a short, dense, and weather-resistant topcoat, and a soft, downy undercoat that provides insulation. This structure is essential for the breed's original purpose, retrieving game from cold water. The topcoat repels water and protects the skin from burrs and brambles, while the undercoat traps a layer of air, keeping the dog warm even in icy conditions. When a Labrador swims, this double coat prevents water from reaching the skin, allowing the dog to dry quickly and avoid hypothermia. You can often see water beating up and rolling right off their backs, a clear testament to the coat's effectiveness. In contrast, the long-haired Labrador's coat presents a different set of characteristics. While visually striking, with its flowing feathering on the ears, chest, legs, and tail, it is less practical for a working retriever. The longer fur tends to absorb more water rather than repel it, making the dog heavier when wet and significantly increasing drying time. This can lead to the dog becoming chilled more easily. Additionally, the soft long fur is more prone to matting and tangling, especially behind the ears, in the armpits, and on the tail. It also readily collects debris like leaves, twigs, and burrs, requiring more intensive grooming to keep it clean and healthy. For these reasons, the long coat is considered a fault in the show ring, as it deviates from the functional standard that defines the breed. The genetic mechanism behind coat length is relatively straightforward. The gene responsible, FGF5, controls the transition from the hair's growth phase to its resting phase. The dominant version of this gene results in a short coat. Most Labradors have two copies of this dominant gene. However, the recessive version allows for a longer growth phase, resulting in a long coat. For a Labrador to have long hair, it must inherit one copy of this recessive gene from each of its parents. If a dog inherits one dominant and one recessive gene, it will have a short coat but will be a carrier of the long hair trait. When two such carriers are bred, there is a 25% chance with each puppy that it will inherit two recessive genes and therefore have a long coat. Genetic testing is now available for breeders to identify carriers, allowing them to make informed decisions and avoid producing long-haired puppies if they are breeding for show or work standards. Grooming requirements differ significantly between the two coat types. A standard short-coated Labrador is relatively low maintenance. A thorough brushing once or twice a week with a slicker brush or shedding blade is usually sufficient to remove loose hair and distribute skin oils. During their seasonal shedding periods, typically in the spring and fall, they will blow their coat, and daily brushing may be necessary to manage the significant amount of hair they lose. The long-haired Labrador, however, demands a more rigorous grooming schedule. Daily brushing is often recommended to prevent mats from forming, particularly in the feathered areas. A pin brush can be used for the longer sections, while a slicker brush and a metal comb are essential for working through tangles and preventing mats in the dense undercoat. Failure to maintain a long-haired Labrador's coat can lead to painful matting that pulls at the skin, potentially causing skin infections and significant discomfort for the dog. Beyond grooming, the coat's properties affect the dog's comfort in different climates. The short, dense double coat of a standard Labrador offers excellent protection in cold and wet weather, making them well suited for cooler climates. However, this same insulating undercoat can make them prone to overheating in very hot, humid environments. Owners in warm regions must be vigilant, providing plenty of shade, water, and opportunities to cool down, and avoiding strenuous exercise during the hottest parts of the day. The long-haired Labrador's coat does not necessarily make it hotter. The undercoat still provides insulation. However, a wet, long coat in a humid climate can trap moisture against the skin for extended periods, creating an ideal environment for hot spots and fungal skin infections to develop. Careful drying after swimming or bathing is crucial. Shedding is a hallmark of the Labrador breed, regardless of coat length. Both short-haired and long-haired varieties shed year-round, with two major shedding seasons. Some owners believe that long-haired Labradors shed more, but this is often a matter of perception. Longer hairs are simply more visible on floors, furniture, and clothing than shorter hairs. The actual volume of hair shed is comparable between the two, as both possess the thick undercoat that is the primary source of shedding. Managing shedding for any Labrador involves consistent grooming to remove dead hair before it falls out, a high-quality diet to support skin and coat health, and a good vacuum cleaner. There is no such thing as a non-shedding Labrador. The history of the breed's development in Newfoundland and England sheds light on why the short coat became the standard. The Labrador's ancestor, the St. John's water dog, was prized by fishermen for its hard-working nature and its practical water-resistant coat. When these dogs were imported to England in the 19th century, English aristocrats began to refine them into the Labrador Retriever we know today. They selectively bred for traits that enhanced the dog's ability as a gun dog, and the short, dense, otter-like tail and coat were paramount. A long coat would have been a hindrance in the field, getting tangled in undergrowth and waterlogged during retrieves. Therefore, the breed standard was written to reflect the most functional and effective coat type for the work the Labrador was bred to do. The long-haired trait, while present in the early gene pool, was actively bred against. Today, while the long-haired Labrador is not accepted in the conformation show ring, they have found a dedicated following among pet owners who are captivated by their unique and beautiful appearance. Since they are not bred for show or working trials, they are kept purely as companions. Their temperament, intelligence, and affectionate nature are identical to their short-haired counterparts. They are every bit a Labrador in heart and mind. The only difference lies in the length of their fur and the extra grooming commitment required. For many owners, the aesthetic appeal of the long coat is well worth the additional maintenance. It's a reminder that even within a well-defined breed, genetic diversity can produce beautiful and surprising variations. The existence of the long-haired Labrador highlights the rich genetic tapestry of the breed and showcases a fascinating aspect of canine genetics that continues to delight and surprise Labrador enthusiasts around the world.